Hello and welcome to Restaurant Recipe Recreations. This channel is dedicated to teaching you how to create your favorite signature dishes from the most popular restaurants. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to recreate the most requested appetizer menu item at the Cheesecake Factory, which are the avocado egg rolls. And of course, you know that the Cheesecake Factory is popular for their hundreds of cheesecake flavors, but they are not a one-trick pony. In fact, their menu is so large that they used to sell advertising space on their menu pages. And I think some of you would agree with me when I say that I think that the Cheesecake Factory menu is a little bit overwhelming. You go in there thinking that you want a specific thing, and then by the time you start looking at the menu, you've already finished like 2 cocktails before you've decided what you want for dinner. It's crazy. But it is fun, and it does give people a lot of options, and options are good, right? I'll always take options. But as I said, in this video, I am going to teach you how to recreate the avocado egg rolls, which are one of their most popular and requested appetizer items. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, I would like to ask that if you are enjoying this channel, if you find this channel fun, informative, entertaining, and if I'm teaching you how to recreate your favorite signature dishes from the most popular restaurants, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And if you like this video, feel free to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. These avocado egg rolls from the Cheesecake Factory come with a dipping sauce, as most egg rolls do actually. And so I want to show you how to recreate the dipping sauce first. That way we could just kind of get it out of the way. We'll stick it in the refrigerator, it can get nice and cool. Because once we start the production of the egg rolls, it's going to take a little bit more time, a little bit more attention, and that way when your egg rolls are done, your dipping sauce is ready and you can just enjoy your appetizer right away. So as I said, using a food processor or a blender, you're going to start with 1 cup of fresh cilantro. Now, because this is all going to be pulsed together and almost emulsified, go ahead and use the stems as well, because there's a lot of flavor in the stems, and the stems will help give the sauce a little bit of body. So 1 cup of fresh cilantro, stems and leaves, 1/2 of a cup of roasted and salted cashew halves and pieces. So because there are nuts and fresh herbs in this, it's very similar to like a pesto. 1/4 of a cup of scallion, green part only, 1/3 of a cup of honey. As I mentioned earlier, this sauce is called a tamarind cashew dipping sauce. And what I have here is a tamarind paste. And I'll be honest with you, in order to find this, you may have to do a Google search on tamarind paste near me, which is exactly what I had to do. And I ended up finding this at my local Whole Foods store. And it has kind of a sour, a little bit of like a bitter flavor. It's sort of thick in consistency. And what it reminds me of a little bit is a little like a pomegranate puree. And because it has a very bold flavor, you don't want to use a lot of it, but you'll need 1 teaspoon of the tamarind paste for this entire batch. 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 3 tablespoons of water, 2 pinches of kosher salt, 4 teaspoons of plain white vinegar, and now just a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. And now you just want to puree this in a food processor or a blender, but just make sure that all of the ingredients are broken up and incorporated and that the sauce has generally a smooth consistency to it. Now that your sauce is to your desired consistency, go ahead and put the sauce in the refrigerator so it stays nice and chilled. And now I'm going to teach you how to create the filling for the egg rolls. I'm going to show you how to make the egg rolls, and I'm going to show you how to deep fry them. Get yourself a mixing bowl, and I have here 3 quite firm Hass avocado. You want these avocados to be firm so that they hold up in the frying of the egg roll. Definitely not as soft as you would use for a guacamole, but not rock hard either. They have to have a little bit of give, but not more than that. Remove any brown spots from the inside that there might be. And let me show you a little trick that I think might be helpful. Using a sharp knife, but being careful not to go through to the other side of the skin, create kind of like a lattice pattern in the avocado flesh, and sort of dissect the inside of your avocado half, and then using a spoon, just scoop it out, and it all comes out already in the size chunk that you'll need. So if that little trick is new to you, let me show you how I do it again. Using a sharp knife and making sure to be careful not to pierce through to the other side of the skin. Make a lattice-like pattern in your avocado flesh, and then just use a spoon to scoop out the avocado flesh. And now it's already in chunk-sized pieces that you need it to be. And now we're going to do 4 tablespoons of sun-dried tomato in oil. And even if your sun-dried tomatoes are already julienned, we're going to dice them down even further. So pulling out 4 tablespoons of sun-dried tomato, Try to leave as much of the oil in the jar as possible. And another little trick that you can do with these sun-dried tomatoes to get some of the excess oil out is to just squeeze them in a paper towel. And now just finely dice your sun-dried tomatoes. Two tablespoons of chopped fresh cilantro, and 1/3 of a cup of very finely diced red onion. 2 pinches of kosher salt, and give that a nice mix. Now I'm going to show you how to fill and wrap the egg rolls. What I have here are Frida's egg roll wrappers. Feel free to use whatever kind of egg roll wrapper you can find. I will say that these were infinitely easier to find than the tamarind paste. In fact, I got these on my beloved Walmart delivery service. And for $10 off your first order, feel free to check out the link below in the description. Get yourself a little dish of just plain regular tap or filtered water. This is going to be used to dip your fingers in. The water kind of acts as a glue. So with your egg roll wrapper on the diagonal, you're going to fill the wrapper with about 2 tablespoons of the filling. And this is where you want to place the filling on your wrapper. Then you take a little bit of your wet fingers, wet the wrapper, and then you're going to fold it over and stick it to the other side. The starch on the outside of the wrapper and the water act as sort of a glue. And now you're going to take the corner, get your fingers wet again, wet the wrapper, now you're going to do the same thing with the other end using the water as a glue. Pull up the other end. And then just wrap the whole rest of the egg roll. And then set that off to the side until frying. So let's do that again. Take your egg roll wrapper on the diagonal, right in this area of the wrapper. You want to put about 2 tablespoons of the filling. Using your dish of water, you want to wet the corner, pull the corner up, stick it to the other side. Use as much water as you feel like you need to because it'll dry quickly. Wet the side and pull that up. Wet the other side. Pull that up. And now you just want to continue to roll it all the way to the end, using your water as the glue. And set that off to the side. So if your egg roll wrapper rips or you just don't like the way that it turned out, feel free to just take the stuffing out, put it back in the bowl, throw the wrapper out, and start over with a brand new wrapper. And there you go. You've got 6 beautiful avocado egg rolls all wrapped up. And now I'm going to show you how to deep fry them. Get yourself a drainage rack or a paper plate with some paper towel on it so that we can put the egg rolls on to drain when they're finished frying. And now you want to put about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of oil into a large pot. How much oil you end up using depends on the surface area of your pot, but just make sure that it's about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of canola oil. And in order to be hot enough for frying, your oil has to come up to about 365 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you don't have a food thermometer, just take your fingers with regular tap water on them and carefully flick the water into the oil. When you hear the water sizzle and react with the 365 degree oil, you'll know that your oil is hot enough to start frying the egg rolls. And when your oil is hot enough, using stainless steel tongs, gently take each one of your egg rolls and drop them into the 365 degree fry oil. Your egg roll should be about halfway submerged in the oil. So just let your egg rolls sort of sit and fry for a little bit on this side. Let them get nice and brown and crispy on the one side, and then we'll flip them over and fry the other side. When the egg rolls get to be nice and brown and crispy, like an egg roll should, go ahead and take them out and put them on your drainage rack to cool. Some of your egg rolls might cook at a little bit of a different speed, so take out the ones that are done and they can hang out and wait for the other ones. So to serve these bad boys, you just want to cut them in half on a bias or a diagonal, center them around a plate, put the dipping sauce in the center, and this will be an awesome appetizer for about 3 or 4 guests. Be sure to check out my episode where I teach you how to recreate the chicken Madeira from the Cheesecake Factory. And so tonight in your own home, you can have an appetizer and an entree from the Cheesecake Factory. I haven't yet filmed an episode where I teach you how to do one of the cheesecakes, but that'll be coming soon, so make sure to look for it. But until I see you again, everybody, have an awesome, awesome day. Cheers, I love you. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, but I was a little bit curious about this whole flavor combination. And I gotta tell you, it works. It's delicious.